We're back.
Right.
We are back. Newcastle in the Champions League. How do you feel?
Like Christmas, isn't it?
I can't help but get excited.
Mate,
I'm sorry.
I can't quite wrap my fucking skull around this right now. It's Milan versus Newcastle. And do you know, like, there's so many little things about tonight that have got me, like, all kind of feelings going on right now. Like, it's Milan. There's an old joke that Newcastle fans always make. Have you ever seen a Mackem in Milan?
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be Milan that we'd get. And then a guy who I follow on Twitter posted this today. 2 years ago to the day, what Newcastle's team and what Newcastle's season was looking like. We were without a win in the first 5 games. We'd lost 3, in fact, and we were in the bottom 3 of the league, facing relegation with Steve Bruce as manager. Eddie Howe takes over. The takeover happens. We buy, these new players. We redevelop the club, and now we're facing Milan in the Champions League. This is like something I never thought I'd do. I never ever genuinely, like, because the soul that was being sucked out of the club to like a Death Eater in Harry Potter type shit, right? It was Mike Ashley as the Death Eater, right? And you just sort of gave up. We gave up hope, and that's back now. And I just hope that every one of these Newcastle players who's in this tunnel, we're looking at them right now, can just take a minute to go, you know what? We fucking worked our balls off last season to get this position. Let's go out there and play and enjoy this. Because one of the things that has worried me this season, I mentioned it on the kickoff in Newcastle, is the big moments. We seem to do well against your Bournemouths and teams who we're expected to beat. But when the pressure's on, these lads have been a little bit gun shy. And I just hope that in the San Siro, we don't suffer from that. Because these lot are gettable.
Yeah.
They just got humped in the last game.
5-1 to Inter.
And unfortunately, I really wish that didn't happen, because I feel like that's like, it's something that can wake up a beast, right? Like, you have a bit of a humiliating moment, then you're in your first Champions League game. I kind of wish that didn't happen. But, I mean, if anything, Eddie Howe has got all the ammunition there to show that to these lads and go, well, here's where we can exploit their weaknesses.
What would your team talk have been for this game?
I'd have been like fucking William Wallace at Braveheart. Call them all! Fucking alright! I'd have been smashing my head through the lockers and all that, right? But, hopefully Eddie's a bit more calm than me.
Look at the San Siro here.
Oh, it's a beautiful stadium.
We've got an unbelievable tifo.
You been to San Siro?
Yeah. I've never been to Milan. I'd love to go, actually.
I did it. I watched Inter Milan versus Lazio there when I went. And I never thought I'd see Newcastle, but here it is. It's the Champions League. It's Anthony Gordon.
Play the music.
It's Big Don Born.
Play the music, please.
Oh, mate, I'm loving it
Trips
right now.
captain. Look at this. So we've got a super chat here. Josh, he's asking you thoughts on the lineup. So should we run through the lineup quickly as they're doing the?
Well, he's mentioned a few players, so I'll single them out. Shout out to Nathan here. Dan Burn, Longstaff, and Jacob Murphy in a Champions League game. We thought championship, maybe not Champions League, but you know what? They've earned it. They deserve it. And if anything, I think they've all reinvented themselves along with Newcastle. And that's the beauty of this, is a lot of people will point to the Saudi money. They will point to the money that we spent. But in comparison to a lot of other clubs, we have nowhere near scratched the surface of what the Saudi money is probably capable of without the FFP. And part of the reason we've managed to make it here is that Eddie has brought these players on to be better than we thought they were capable of. And this is a hell of a fucking ask for them, though, because technically, they're not Champions League level players, but they can level their ability up in a game like this. You hope, especially Jacob Murphy had some real moments of brilliance last season in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Sean Longstaff starred for Newcastle to get us into the final with beautiful passing and a good goal from him. So, you know what? I'm really glad we've got 2 Geordies in this side who know what this means, to embrace this moment. And for those wondering about the team lineup, if you haven't already seen it, we got Gordon, Isak, Murphy, Tonali, Bruno, and Longstaff with the same back four that we always have, and keeper. I guess the reason Wilson started the last game and Elliot Anderson started was because Eddie Howe knew, I'm playing Tonali, I'm playing Isak in the Champions League. And obviously Zlatan Ibrahimovic is in attendance.
Apparently he came into the Milan dressing room, and gave him an absolute dressing down after the Inter game because they were so absolutely awful. Can you imagine going into a game like tonight, which means everything, back in the Champions League, and they've had a horrendous loss? I have to say, right, I was just looking at the team sheet now. You'd argue that their team sheet is far more Champions League level than Newcastle.
Absolutely, and
Come on,
that's going to happen in every game for us. We are playing Dortmund and PSG and Milan. It's not, there's a lot of teams that sneak into the Champions League, and we're one of them. But there's a lot of teams that you'd want to play in the Champions League who you'd fancy Newcastle against. But really, we're the underdogs here, and I like that. Shout out to the chat, by the way. We can see you getting your comments in.
Excuse me, I'm getting too excited. What's your prediction of the game, mate? Before we kick off, can you give me a score prediction for tonight?
2-1 Newcastle.
You that confident, are you?
Yes.
Wow.
What about you? What are you saying?
I'm going to say a draw tonight. I'm going to go with a Desmond 2-2.
Okay.
Here we go. So, I have to say, Milan are actually Chelsea Mark II, haven't we? We've got Giroud, we've got Loftus-Cheek, we've got Pulisic on the bench. So, we've got lots of Chelsea connections. Rafael Leao was linked with coming to Chelsea. So they are Chelsea Mark II in Italy.
I think that it's kind of good, though, for us, because I'd rather have players that we're sort of familiar with and we know what they're about. Like, Giroud is a beast. And
underrated.
Yeah, isn't he like France's all-time top scorer?
He's so good. And also in big Champions League games, he always turns it on as well.
I've always rated him. But you know who else I rate? Alexander Isak. Let us know your predictions, by the way, in the comments, guys. Really appreciate this.
Yeah, we're going to get fully involved with everyone in the chat today. Thanks so much for watching. Oh. This is a huge game.
Brian, you were right about Ten Hag last season. Everyone was blowing their beans about him, and you were the first to spot the flaws. I think I must have been one of the first. However, I'm not even saying like he's a fraud or that he should be sacked, but the level of defense that he is getting from his fans right now, when there's just clear flaws there, is weird. Like, I've never seen, and you know what? I think I figured out why. I just think Manchester United fans need this to work so much that they don't want to acknowledge what is going on right now. You know, and I get it. It's not like Newcastle where, like, let's say if Eddie Howe didn't work out, I think there's just a natural progression there where we can try someone different. Like, Man United fans feel like they've really tried everything they can think of. And if this doesn't work, then where do we go from here? Which is fair enough. Ow, you bastard. But... Sorry, just
for everyone watching along, we're at 1 minute 27, 28, 29, 30. We won't have the graphics today, but we'll try and keep you updated on the timelines. But we're at 1:34 now for everyone asking. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I just think that with the level of money that Ten Hag's been given, and I think Ten Hag was the one who got Manchester United at times playing good football last season and gave them more hope than they'd had. Since Fergie, arguably. So for that now to not work is quite brutal for them, feelings wise, you know.
Can I ask you, in terms of for me, it's the board, the manager, and the squad, right? In terms of like ordering for Man United, and let's not make this too much about Man United because we're here watching Newcastle in the Champions League, for God's sake. But if you're ranking those, who's the most to blame? Yeah,
I think the board would be number one.
Yeah,
but equally, like, the ratio of blame right now is 60-70% the board, 30% the players, 0% Ten Hag. And I just think that that's completely
What
fun.
should it be on Ten Hag?
maybe 50% the board and 25 Ten Hag, 25 players. Because
Yeah.
how many of these players were bought by Ten Hag? How many of them are coached by him every day? Like, it's as if he's just not even there the way they talk about him.
Yeah.
The white shorts again for Newcastle. I haven't seen these in a while.
People are saying this is very Juve.
Yeah.
It does look very Juve, doesn't
I
it?
hope we fucking play like that.
Oh, I'm so excited to watch Rafael Leao. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
I would love him at Chelsea. I have to say.
Who was your team in Italy if you had one? Did you have an Italian side?
Do you know what? I've not got any real allegiance. I do like Inter quite a lot. I think they had some classic players.
I used to like Roma when I was a kid.
Yes.
I really liked Totti.
Totti, legend.
Totti was like that guy.
Yeah.
And I always remember thinking like he was kind of the Shearer in terms of not in terms of football, but in terms of like he was a one club guy and he was like very much personified the club.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to like Roma because when I first started watching the Italia,
Football Italia, wasn't it? Yeah.
The Roma were a real team to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
But even then, they had so many great characters in Italian football when I was growing up, like Adriano and Christian Vieri and Maldini and Paolo Maldini was absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Shout out the chat, another super chat here. What positions do you think we should strengthen in January? For me, I would like a creative midfielder who plays in like the Bruno Fernandes role. I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, nice football from Newcastle. Murphy on the right-hand side plays at Trippier. We're moving like we normally would. You know how Newcastle have been flat lately?
Yeah.
They're a bit more up for this.
This is what happens when you're playing European football, though. There's a bit more space.
Cross in from
Trippier, very good cross.
Good cross from Trippier.
Yeah.
Just a little bit behind the strikers. Yeah, the momentum. We look more like a team that are dying to win a football match, which was basically all of last season how we played. And despite the level of like technicality in some of these players, it really did take us above where we should have probably have finished. If we don't do that this season, though, like with Man United, Chelsea, Brighton, Villa, Spurs, and all these other clubs who are fighting for that position of fourth or fifth, depending on what the Champions League cutoff is. Oh, Tonali breaks into the box, cross in.
It was out.
Looks like it went out. It was very like a Marcus Rashford the other day when he got the cross in.
I think that might have been slightly further out than.
Do you know what's funny? I deleted a tweet. You know
why?
Because I seen a load of Man United fans on Twitter moaning about it, and I was like, let me just screenshot this, put it out, just to see what our fans think.
Yeah,
big mistake. They're like, what? I was like, does anyone really think that this wasn't out, or genuinely think this wasn't out?
Yeah.
And loads of people like, what a stupid question. Do you really think that wasn't out? And I was like, at no point did I say that this didn't go out. What the fuck is going on? How am I getting the backlash here? I'm like, fuck it, delete it. Fuck this.
Welcome to Twitter.
You try to interact with the fans. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. They're just using me to make us try to look stupid. So, yeah, there's no timer today. Sorry, guys. Apologies.
6:10, well, 6:14, 15, 16. For anyone asking.
Good point from the lad Tunami in the chat who says Newcastle have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Absolutely. Like the only thing is as long as we don't get humiliated by these teams mentally, we'll be strong in the Premier League and we won't then let our heads go down. It's not good. We just Longstaff just got turned a bit there.
Got chopped. He got absolutely chopped.
Nathan said, personally, I think you should get Diego Costa from Porto, who can play out from the back.
Yeah, he's a very good goalkeeper that a lot of big teams are in for.
I think there are a few weaknesses, but like it's so, and I think every football club has this problem right now where they're going, do we go for strength and depth in case we get an injury, which would then fuck us, or do we look at the main weaknesses that we have as a club?
I wouldn't say goalie's a weakness for you though. Like, isn't that a bit harsh on Nick Pope, who's actually not really put a foot wrong for Newcastle?
Exactly, and
other
it's a
than
bit like
missed header.
It's like the David De Gea thing, right? Like, did Manchester United need a new goalkeeper? Yeah, They could have done with one, but is that the main priority that they should have identified to spend 60 million or whatever it was?
Wow.
You could argue there were other positions that needed priority, and I've made that point with Chelsea as well. Like they've got loads of strength and depth, Chelsea, but have they made the priorities the right priorities here?
Yeah.
And you could argue no.
But you had one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So why are you looking to go? Oh yeah, now we're going to rip that up and get a goalkeeper like Nick Pope? I think he's really underrated. He's done nothing wrong.
It's one of them though where he has weaknesses, and unfortunately, keepers like David De Gea, because you're constantly exposed from those weaknesses, they're very obvious, right?
What are his weaknesses then?
I think at times crossing can be problematic. Nick Pope is actually quite like David De Gea. Good shot stopper, but commanding the defence and sometimes getting a bit nervous when he comes out to collect, just like David De Gea, which is mad considering we only paid 10 million.
I think it's harsh. I think it's very harsh on him.
No, I'm. It's like anyone has weaknesses. Like, it's not like I'm not saying I'm not saying that these flaws are horrendous. They're just slightly weaker parts of his game.
Do you not think that we just miss goalkeepers being goalkeepers, and we need this like all of these ball playing goalkeepers that are like special, that are amazing players? Like, can we not just have Nick Pope in net and he does a job and he saves? Like,
I would like to
his
say
shot
that,
stopping
but
is
then you
not that
watch
bad.
Brighton and the way they use their goalkeeper to literally pull Manchester United forward by being so comfortable on the ball. He then releases the ball, and the space in behind that you can create from having a keeper who can play football, it is an advantage. I'm not saying it should be priority. Shot stopping is priority, but there's like a new element of the game now because of people like Pep and other managers who, even the Liverpool keeper, Alisson. I mean, he is world class at everything to me.
Yeah. Do you know what though, mate? Sometimes, and I've experienced this with Chelsea. I've had the other way where he's more ball playing than he is saving. I think I'd rather just have a goalkeeper that can keep the ball out of the net.
It was so funny when KG was like, "Well, was bought a new keeper," and I was like, "Yeah, how are that working out for you?" You know what I mean? Like, when you look at what Man United could have went and got, like, if you look at the fact of, let's say they spent 80 million on Højlund, and then Harry Kane went for 100 million.
Yeah.
And you look at like,
he was never going to Man United. Though,
yeah, true.
For 100 million, was he?
Go on, cross it in. Oh, shite.
That was a poor ball.
Yeah, he was at a great run, but unfortunately now.
How are you feeling so far about the performance?
Good. Yeah. I think we're workmanlike here. We're grafting our horses off, and I can't complain about the effort levels. We've been top draw. Technically, we're in a real game. Like Milan are very much, they're looking a bit. They look good technically. You know what I mean? Like I'm aware that they've made us look silly once or twice here a little bit.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Where do you think Newcastle are going to finish in this group?
I would. I don't know. Maybe second. I'd like
in the group of death to finish second. Do you know that? By the way, the betting odds are suggesting that you will finish second.
Really?
Which is
I think emotions, though, like English betting companies are going to take a lot of bets on Newcastle because we're the underdogs, I guess. And
yeah,
come on, Milan are really doing well to stop us from getting space here.
Was that a foul?
It's a fight. This we're seeing a lot of like challenges going in. It's certainly not it's not a soft game against, like, do you know, like some teams, I kind of use Spanish teams as an example because they're very...
You hate the Spanish
No,
teams.
but they're just technical, but they're not as hard. You know, Italy have got some, like, they're playing hard here. They're like getting stuck into us, to be fair. Good battle. Brian respected Klopp until the 2-1 the other week. Lol. To be fair, I've always respected Klopp. I still do. He's just not as likeable as he used to be.
Yeah. Chat, what do you think? Where do you think Newcastle
game's
will finish
opening
in
up.
the
It's a good shot and it's a good save from Nick Pope. Good save.
Replace him. Absolutely rubbish. Leao with an unbelievable ball.
Good save from Pope again. We'll take it.
I have to say, their front three is dangerous.
Yes, totally true.
Dangerous. I have to say, right, in recent times, people have said that Italy has dropped off in terms of quality of the league. You look at this Milan squad and this team tonight, they've got a very good squad. They really do.
Yeah.
Inter have improved as well this year. You know, Juve are back. You know, you've got Jose at Roma. There's some quality there.
I think it's natural for us as Premier League watchers, though, to kind of, we'll take them seriously if they show up in the quarters and the semis, right? Like,
I mean, they got to the final last year, so put some respect on them. Cut it back. That was an awful
we're in trouble
pass.
here. We're in trouble here.
That should have been a goal for them.
Milan are really starting to open us up a bit too quickly now, and it's 13 minutes into the game, and they're looking too comfortable. And the Chelsea boy was there as well.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah, that's Loftus.
I miss him every day.
He's a beast, isn't he? Oh,
goal!
Giroud.
Oh,
fucking hell! This is
wow.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, lads, get a hold of it. They're bullying us a little bit here.
Yeah, they are. They've had a lot of chances. It's completely swung in their favour now. But this is going to happen at the San Siro, mate, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah,
This is a hard place to go.
but we're just being. This is where you think when it's chance after chance after chance, you look like you're getting outclassed. Then, you know, and that's not what I want.
No.
I don't mind losing, but you don't want to be outclassed.
Here we go. Header
Another
from
one,
Ruben.
and it's a goal.
Oh, wow.
Should have been a goal.
What was
Milan
he
are
doing
really
there?
all over us here. We are chancing it, yeah.
Which AC players would you start for Newcastle? That's
Jesus
a freaking great
Christ.
question, Serge. Thank
Right
you.
now, 11. they're all over us, right?
I mean, I think would you take one of the centre back? Would you take Tamori?
Look at this press.
You take the
It's
goalkeeper,
not good, is it?
Mannion.
This press is so easy for them to beat. Come on.
Bring it down, Trippier. I think you'd definitely take the wingers as well, by the way. Both the wingers you'd take.
Nathan is back. He says Eze would be a good option, or Barella.
There's some big names there.
Yeah.
Some big names there, Nathan.
Shout out to the chat. Big thanks for the support, guys. Dan Burn for Ballon d'Or, says Andy. Mate, you're onto it. Right, Trippier, right side.
Brian
Takes
wants
it
Lewis
down.
Hall instead of Dan Burn at left back anyway. So
we paid 35 million for a kid I've never seen. Same with the other one. The other one from Southampton. Never fucking seen.
Yeah, Livramento, legend. They're going to come in, mate, and be very good. But I wouldn't be resting or
Do you know what's
dropping
funny?
Trippier for a while.
I think I might have seen. I popped up to Newcastle on the weekend. I think I seen Livramento. I thought, well, that'll be the
You
last
say,
time I see
good
him.
lads.
Last time I see him for the rest of the season. Then it's just mental, isn't it?
Yeah,
We've spent 70 million on two players who can't get in the side. Who are we?
yeah.
This is Newcastle here. We've got problems. Do you know what I mean? Like
Strength and depth, Brian. Strength and depth.
Yeah, but that's the
Come on,
point. Is
Murphy.
like strength and depth should not be your goal when you are lacking in certain positions. Like when you've got Almiron or Daryl Murphy starting for you. You know what I mean? Like it's mental. That 70 million could have gone on a world class fucking winger. Tonali's playing like left side of centre midfield, and he's kind of acting like as a winger.
Yeah. I wonder how he feels tonight going back to his
It must
his
be nice.
previous club. Yeah.
To get a bit of time at home again, because he was Mr. Milan,
I mean,
wasn't
he was buzzing to be in Newcastle, wasn't he? That was a load of shit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
by
he
the
was
way,
just a miserable
that was a
fucker all the
load of shit. Everyone doing body language, becoming body language experts, of him walking around the training ground with a sad face.
We're really not doing well here on the ball. We're giving the ball away constantly.
Yeah.
Aye.
His girlfriend looked more excited than him, to be honest. Yes, very, very true. Very true,
She's
mate.
a good-looking woman. Respect. I respect them. I
dear.
respect that, son.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're losing the ball a lot right now. Milan are dominating the ball for me. It's hard. It's rough.
Come on, you're going away to San Siro, still 0-0.
No, you know
should
what
be
it
happy.
is?
You should be all right with this.
I'm not complaining about the result. Obviously, it's still 0-0. We got time, but when you start losing the ball in such a way, it looks like it's a matter of time. They're pressing us.
It's not that bad.
We're giving the ball away terribly here. Come on, mate.
I think you're being pessimistic. Right, we've had 5 people asking this. 17 minutes, 18, 19, 20, 21 for everyone asking for the time.
Someone said I miss Voldemort bossing the Newcastle midfield. He's off to Turkey now.
What is he up? Yeah, what is he up to?
Well, we sold him to Forest somehow.
Yeah.
And it was so
He didn't play.
I really loved the Nottingham Forest fans' Twitters. Like, they were so funny about it. They were hammering him. Milan are in the box. It's a good chance headed
Great
away.
header.
Beautiful header out, but it's another long range shot, and it's saved by Nick Pope.
Ooh, should he have kept hold of that, mate?
They're doing a lot of like shots from distance, so that I think they try and I don't know if they rate Nick Pope because there's a lot of shots from distance coming in.
Yeah.
Brian's mood in Newcastle matches changes so quickly. Correct. I'm
Understandably.
I'm bipolar. I'm going to take my dad's medication at this rate because this is fucking mental.
The stress on this guy for this game. Come on, boys.
Literally, first thing I thought of when I opened my eyes this morning was like, this is it.
Champions League.
Don't get scared now. You know what I mean?
We nervous?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's a corner to Milan. It's been all Milan so far.
Whipped in.
And it's another one.
Wow, safe.
Like another one. Just saved.
Hernandez with the header.
It's all Milan. I mean, who the fuck is marking this prick?
It was Big Dan, mate. It was Big Dan. It was your best set piece defender.
Nobody tracked the run.
What is going on, boys?
He seemed to run from midfield, him.
What is going on? Come on, I think you're
we're
doing
getting
okay.
outclassed.
This was always going to happen.
Mate, this is rough right now.
Come on, this was always going to happen.
Free
They're always
header.
going to be up for it. I think you'll grow into the game. Like you should have more fitness than Milan. You should do. The Premier League is much more physical. Look, we're just watching highlights, guys, backwards and forwards now, replays, chance upon chance. They've had a lot of shots. In fact, I'm going to see how many shots exactly there've been.
Brutal.
I reckon it's a load. They've had 7 shots, 5 on goal. You've had 0 shots, surprisingly 0 on goal, but you've had more possession.
Picking the ball out and passing it out to give them it back gets tiring.
Yeah.
How have they got the ball back already, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
We are getting absolutely out. They are ruining
Watch
us. Right
Ruben
now.
run here. Watch Ruben run. Oh, he had a lot of space there, Brian.
Genuinely, this, just to put this into perspective right now, if you're not watching the game, they're peppering us like a steak. Like, we don't look like we're in the same league as them. We don't. Like, it looks like multiple leagues apart.
Yeah.
It looks like a League One side versus a Premier League side.
It's not that bad, but they're definitely on top.
Just for the sake of it, let's see how long it takes for Newcastle to give them the ball back. This is an example of what I'm on about. So we'll get
Should we get the stopwatch
20-30, right?
Okay.
30 seconds was when we kicked off.
Gone.
34. That's what I'm on about. We can't keep the ball.
Why are you lumping it up? That's really stupid.
Get Big Al out of retirement and put him up front then. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I'm going to say now?
Look at that. There's no one there.
Bring on Karius. You know, he can play with the ball at his feet.
Oh, the state of it, man. Come on.
Here we go. Play him through. So Isak is running onto it. Tamori is
So
fast.
Poor. So poor.
He is fast.
It was the ball, though, wasn't it? The pass was terrible. We, in previous games, have been slow to move the ball. But we're not just slow to move it. No one's looking to receive it, so they're not coming to. And when we are playing it, the accuracy of our passes has been poor. You know, you go from, you watch Brighton the other day and just, I mean, I know they look like Barcelona at the minute, but fucking hell, going from that to this.
How far do you think they'll go in Europe this year? Do you think they'll get a quarterfinal or a semi-final?
They're in the Europa, right?
Yeah.
I think they could win it.
Do you think?
If they have a little bit of luck, they could win it.
I mean,
Again, how
Trippier's slowing
long?
it down.
How long, man?
He didn't have any options there, though, mate.
No, but that's the point, though.
Yeah.
He's taking too long because no one's coming to him, and then he's going for the only pass that is even on, which is an unlikely one to make, and that's why we keep this is what coaching is about here. Like, we need to get onto them, help each other out.
Eddie's going
Eddie's
mad.
going mental, and as he should be, because the house could be burning down at the minute.
Where's Tyndall?
Where's Mad Dog?
Look at those frosted tips for Giroud.
How old
Look
is
at
he?
him.
35?
He's probably 80, to be honest with you. He's been
Honestly.
around for a long time. Bagging goals in finals for Chelsea.
Chance to nick it? Nope. Bottle job. Absolute bottle job.
Okay, big long ball. You need to get the ball down and you need to hold on to it for a while.
This
Short
is
and
what.
long stuff.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say nerves, though? Right?
Yeah.
This is
understandable.
What I'm talking about is when we play a Manchester City or a Liverpool, it's like a hot potato. No one wants the fucking ball. Look at the state of that. That is nerves. Golden gives the ball away cheaply.
Where are you getting your points in this group? Do you think you're getting points against Dortmund?
If we don't get, look, Milan and Dortmund are of a similar level, you'd think.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they're probably slightly better than Dortmund, I would say.
Yeah, well, Dortmund pushed Bayern Munich all the way to the league last season.
They did.
So
Bayern Munich were poor.
Right, so they're no mugs, okay?
Yeah.
So let's say they're of a similar level.
Yeah.
If we show that we're not on the level of Milan in this game, well, then we know what's happening, don't we? Because PSG have some really top players as well. Right now, we don't look like we belong on the same pitch as this lot. But it's only the first 20 minutes, and sometimes you see a team come and start well, and then they drift off, right? Man United did it the other day against Bayern. 20 minutes were fantastic. Sorry, against Brighton. 20 minutes was fantastic. Then they went to shit. So we might just be weathering the storm right now, but I have to say, our ability with the ball, I mean, where's the options here? It is staggeringly bad how people are drifting out of the game deliberately and not being countable.
Bruno's playing in that deep role again, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't really want to see him in that deep role.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit wasted there, to be fair. Can you believe that Longstaff is playing in the Champions League? Actually, I'm sorry, I can't believe it.
I don't mind it too much if he does the job. It's more that when you look at what we're lacking in terms of quality on the ball, you can really see Longstaff as playing.
Murphy with a attempted cross. It's gone out for a goal kick. You would rather him start than
It's
Almiron,
bad, isn't it? It's been a bad start. It's been bad. Yeah.
PSG are the easiest opponents. They've been poor this season.
We'll
Wow.
bookmark that.
Ooh. I mean, they definitely haven't been as good as they usually are. They've actually started very slowly. They're not in the top 3 in France, I believe.
The thing about it is we're playing 3 like institutions here, right? Like they're not just accidentally in the Champions League. They're in. Oh, Gordon. Oh, fuck. Good play. Longstaff's done all right there. Fair play to your son. Come on.
PSG 5 games, 8 points.
That is terrible, to be fair.
Yeah.
Go on. Oh, you fucker. Longstaff is actually working his socks off here. I mean, he's one of the players who's trying to make it happen for us, to be fair to him.
He's got to, though, because, his work rate is the most important asset for the team today. It's Chelsea, though. Thanks, Titration.
Yeah.
Thanks, Titration.
Yeah.
Big love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder of just how depressing my life has become.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. Dear.
I think Chelsea are.
We don't need to talk about them.
I think they're going to be a decent team this season once they sort of connect with each other a bit better. But I think they're just not going to. They're going to have a lot of games where they have missed chances and they struggle to. How long is Nkunku off for?
December, late December, early January.
Okay, so
at best.
There you go. They're really going to miss him until that point, I think. And I think it's going to be a lot more of the same until that point.
Yeah.
But I agree with you about Pochettino. Like, it's pointless getting rid of him. They need to stick with him.
The manager's not the fucking problem.
Yeah. They need to give him time.
He's not the problem. Yeah.
I think Poch should get at least one more season on top of this, whatever the fuck happens as well.
Yeah, I have to say there's been a lot of positivity in the press, like people saying the stats are good and that we are going to come good. I like the positivity. I'm trying to stay positive as possible.
What the fuck is that shit?
Not feeling good about it. I'll tell you that for sure.
Fucking hell, man. Our passing really sucks balls here, like. Let's see what the fuck.
Was that a foul? No. Well,
We look out of what
we're nearly
depth so
half an
far.
hour into the first Champions League game. You haven't conceded, which is important. Oh, Brianna with the super chat. Thank you very much, Brianna. We haven't seen you in a long time. Here we go.
Good to see you. I hope you're doing all right. Appreciate it. Big old Kevin Trippier looking like... Trippier looks like he belongs in this game. He doesn't look phased
He does
at
deserve.
all. No, but that's what I mean is like
Yeah.
you can see the difference between a player who's been here before and a
Yeah.
player who hasn't.
Yeah, great.
Um,
Agreed. Who's got any European experience in your team? You've got Isak, he's played in Europe. Trippier's played in Europe. Botman's played in Europe.
I mean, it's not many. Is it?
Bruno played in Europe. Yeah.
Eddie Howe's having a word with Bruno. But when you say played in Europe, I don't know, like,
Champions League
let's
level.
be real, right? The European experience is minimal outside of Trippier. He's the only one
Yeah.
who's had proper
Yeah. This
many
is
seasons.
It's obviously Eddie's first game in Europe. I mean, I remember...
He's never even been to a Champions League match.
I know. Well, there you go. I remember Graham Potter putting on a full suit, having a shape up and a hair trim, ready for his first game in Europe. That's
I
how
do
much he
appreciate
meant
that
it.
Eddie's kept it 100.
Yeah.
I'm a same OG.
Yeah.
Genuine.
I did love that though, where he had a little glow up.
Yeah.
Potter last year. That was very good. Actually.
It was right before he got the...
yeah, it was. But I loved it. Though,
It's
at
like,
the
if I'm
same
going to
time.
go out, I'm going to go out and meet...
I'm gonna go out
It was a
looking
bit
good.
like when the lads on the Titanic wore suits before they
Yeah.
went down.
I have to say, when he was getting the sack, he did have the tracksuit on. he
yeah,
was
fuck
like, "Fuck this!
I can't be
I
asked.
can't be asked to put on the fucking
The
suit.
suit
and
doesn't
stuck
make a
my
difference, we're
gut
still
in."
losing.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your top 6 predictions? And Chelsea are probably the only team to spend $1 billion and get worse.
Oh. Well,
thanks,
it's
thanks again, Nathan.
we're sticking the knife in, aren't we?
Mate, he's paying for it. So fair play to him.
Yeah. I've literally been nothing but nice to
old
Newcastle,
Nathan.
but there you go.
All right, we're switching it to Tonali. Tonali chips it in. Poor. We're really terrible here.
Come on, are you being too negative?
No, we're playing terrible. We are. We're not slinging passes together
dear.
at all. Like, it's just not happening. So, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Big, long stuff.
I think I was in school uniform the last time I watched Newcastle in the Champions League.
You, me,
That's
both.
how long. That's how long ago it was.
I remember it well. I too.
It's really hard to fit into school uniform.
Go on, pass it.
Oh dear.
Pass it. Yes, and again, down the right. Trippier's on. What the fuck are you doing, Murphy, man? You're taking forever. Go on, penalty.
No, he's waved it off. He's waved it off.
Longstaff went down, and it's no penalty. I would like a VAR. Oh, Newcastle in trouble now because we've all bombed forward, and Milan are on the attack to get the cross in, and they've done well to get it down the left side, and it's a cross in.
Oh,
Should have been a goal,
wow.
but Olivier Giroud touches it past the post.
Wow.
Oh,
Someone go on.
shout out, by the way, to Beetle Greg 07 who said 20 years, however, the tune are back still fighting for this title. Big low.
Someone has asked us for our updated. Jack has asked us for our updated top 6. Go on. Go from reverse order for me. Who do you
fuck me.
think?
A quick one would be City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and
In that order.
it's maybe City, Arsenal, Liverpool, sorry, and then whoever the fuck. I literally have no idea because European football is going to really change things.
Yep.
So, like, Brighton might struggle more. Spurs might come undone as the season comes on. Villa could be hot and cold. Like, it's so difficult to predict. And I really think, judging by the way Newcastle this season, we might not be quite as good as last season. So, and Bruno's been done big time there.
Okay.
Loftus Cheek brings him down, gives a free kick away. I thought that was a fair challenge, so I'll
Legend.
take that.
Can I just say what a player this guy is? And he was underrated so much
Mate,
at Chelsea, and
he's
it
built,
annoys
isn't he?
me. We should have kept him. Do you know what? He's one of those players where you just go like, just keep him. Like he's not worth the freaking FFP benefit.
He's built like Bellingham as well. Like he's got that like status about him when he keeps the ball.
He can play in about 8 different freaking positions.
Mate, it's mental that you let him go.
Yeah, it's dumb, is what it is.
I mean, it
It's
makes sense for Milan to take him though. They're fucking loving life.
Yeah.
Long ball in for a free kick, easy for the keeper to belt out.
I find it interesting though that like an English team didn't take a punt on him. Like he would have improved your midfield.
Yeah.
So let me round up, mate. I'll give my top 6 very quickly. Right, I reckon it will be.
Oh fuck! No,
Yeah.
no. He's done us all. He's done them all.
He's got to.
Oh, he's fell over.
What has he done?
We're in trouble here. Off the line.
That is
Off the line.
That is a
Newcastle in deep
horrendous
shit.
miss. He's tried to backheel it into the bottom corner after beating 5
Oh,
players.
mate, we don't look anywhere near ready for this level so far. We're getting absolutely annihilated here. We are so lucky to be 0-0.
Leao,
We are
what
so
are you
lucky.
doing, son? What are you doing? That is a horrendous miss. If you're his manager,
Leao just torn us a new arsehole, but for some reason didn't put the sword in the heart.
his manager is going to be fuming.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
didn't
was...
slap that.
He
in.
opened the game up so well, so you kind of have to give him credit because he's created his own chance there.
Yeah.
But then when it's time to just do the easy bit, he's fluffed it.
Yeah. All right, my top 4, my top 6 is going to be City, Arsenal, Liverpool in that order. Then I'm going to put.
What are you doing? Sorry, mate. Nick Pope is pissing me right off here.
Has he just flapped it?
Yeah, he's all right. He's sorted it. But...
Then I'm going to go for a rogue one. I reckon Brighton finishing 4th. I think Spurs finishing 5th. And I think Newcastle finishing 6th. United 7th, Chelsea 8th.
Wow.
That's how bad it's got. That's how bad.
I must admit, it is difficult when Chelsea and Man United are performing. The thing is with Man United though is they have match winners that Chelsea don't have.
I don't know if Man United are coming back. I honestly don't think they're going to be top 5.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
don't.
What I mean is with Man United though is the potential for them to turn it around because of having the magic of Bruno and Rashford. They can play badly and win games. That's Ten Hag. What people don't understand about Ten Hag is he's been getting away with murder because of players like that.
Yeah.
They've literally like covered up all of the cracks.
Yeah.
And that's why he might be able to manage it again. So whereas with Chelsea don't have players who are going to do the numbers that Rashford and Bruno will do. They just don't have it. Neither do Newcastle, really. Not individuals. And that's why Man United, as bad as they look, might be able to turn it around.
I just think if you look at the system that Brighton have, like they could drop off, right? But they should. The way they're playing is so much better than the dysfunctional Man United and the dysfunctional Chelsea.
I agree.
Like it's just over the course of the season, unless Europe affects them in such a significant way,
Which
and
it
they get
could.
an injury crisis, then fair enough. But even then, they've got such a well-drilled system. Like you just have to go like, are they going to be better? And I have to say, Spurs' resurgence. A lot of people are saying very confidently that they feel they're going to drop off at the end of the season. I don't know where that confidence comes from because they've played pretty well. They've outclassed Man United when they played them. Fair enough, Man United haven't been that good, but they really did outclass them. So you go, why could they not mix it up this year?
We are looking so bad here. Yeah. It's really worrying. We are really struggling to pass the football here in just the most basic of ways. We don't look like a top level side here. Do you know in the Premier League, like, you know, even against City and Liverpool, we at times we look like a competent football side who can hang in there with them, and the passes are so overhit here. It's mental.
Can I just say that Gordon touch was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
It was insane.
Considering how badly passed it was to him.
Hernandez is so quick on the left-hand side for Milan. Wow.
We're so open here in the midfield.
Look at that passing from Milan. It's class. They've got 5 players in the box here.
We look like we should be getting 5-0 here.
Oh, Leao. Oh, God. Wow. They've been so wasteful up top. Like, again, let's look at the stats here because it's dominant. Isn't it?
We just look terrible, mate.
It's dominant.
I thought that there'd be more of a level of competitiveness here from Newcastle. I thought Here's the problem with Newcastle. When we get the ball, we are technically horrendous. We are nowhere near Champions League level so far. We're having an absolute stinker. And to be honest with you, I can say this, as I've said it all season, we've looked like this in every game. This isn't anything new. I have said we are not the same team as we are last season. I don't know why. The intensity's definitely dropped off for a start, but our passing ability in particular looks so shit.
Is the Europa League then the best course of action? Do you
on.
know what I mean?
Longstaff, 2, Gordon, good shot, blocked.
No shots on target so far. I don't even know if you'd count that one.
Fuck me,
So
the state of that, the state of it.
It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, we shooting is a level up from what I'm even right. We can't make it from the halfway line to the final third. You know, like our passing is breaking down. It's so poor so far.
Do you know what I think it is? I feel like the defense is very far away from the strikers, isn't it? Like feels like you're very open vertically. That's what I've noticed so far, and that's why the midfield are getting a bit of a runaround. Because you're not high up enough. You're very deep. You're really deep.
I think the midfield is really struggling to.
That was a rugby tackle. That was.
I think we're not playing like Bruno, Tonali, and Longstaff. That is a yellow card. Fucking hell. Bruno, Tonali, and Longstaff are not playing like a cohesive unit at all. Yeah,
I think it's hard for them though when they're so isolated away from they're too far away from the strikers and they're too far advanced from the defenders. Like this is the thing. Sarri always used to say to us, "I want 15 yards gap between all of them. Like I want you to be so tight together you can't break it."
I mean, this kind of reminds me of when we watched the highlights we're watching the replay here of the miss. This kind of reminds me of the Manchester United highlights against Brighton, where you're getting passed around and you aren't able to string passes together yourself. It looks men against boys a little bit so far.
Yeah, it's a baptism of fire in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, we've just got to hope that we can come back into it because luckily we're not 1-0 down yet. So
yeah,
what is Isak doing there, son? Come on, get up.
He's been isolated as well.
He's got nothing.
Yeah,
but this is the problem with Isak. He's been getting nothing in every game. So
this felt to me like a game where Wilson could have made an impact.
I think we're trying to play in a more defensive way. Like Wilson, because he's a penalty box striker, he's not going to drop off and be as comfortable on the ball as Isak, arguably. And I think that's the logic from Eddie is we want someone who can go off on the wing and do other things as well as score. Come on, Isak, touch.
You've got bodies forward
in the middle.
Here.
Oh, what the fuck was that, man? You had a player next to you.
Your first shot of the game, Murphy slaps
Murphy on his left foot blasts it over. I mean, you had more chance. No way was that going in.
Jacob Murphy.
But then he had Gordon available.
What happened here? This was a bit of a weird coming together, wasn't it? On Isak, foul there.
Yeah.
Was that Tamori fouling him?
That little fucker screaming.
He's screaming at him.
Like, that's like really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat again. Big love. Ball in behind. Nick Pope takes it. Nathan says, you know what's mad? The Brighton squad that beat United altogether cost only 16 million and they dropped 6 players to rest the team.
Insane. That just shows you how good they are. And that's why they're underrated, Brighton. They really are.
Yeah, that's what gives me faith that they could do. Oh, my God.
Can I just say as well, right? They've got James Milner. They've got Lallana. They've got Welbeck.
It's like a fucking antique shop.
Yeah, and yet they're beating people. Like if you put those players in Fulham's team, they look average.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
De Zerbi's,
they do.
He's special coach.
Any other team, they look average.
Oh, the fucking state of that shite! You fucking moron. Misplaced passes, man.
Diego, thank you for the super chat.
You
guys have been on fire in the chat today.
Yeah, they're saying Newcastle couldn't play in the Europa League if we play like this. Yeah, I mean, obviously the opposition is what's making us look worse right now. And you got to give credit, like Milan in the San Siro. I know they got bossed in their last game, but like I said, I wish that hadn't have happened. Why? Because it can wake up a monster, right? You've had a bollocking from Zlatan Ibrahimovic for a reason, and now they've come out all guns blazing against us. And they are every single one of these players plays in the Champions League every year. We're like deer in the headlights. So
Fulham have Willian and Tim Ream. Willian is a class player. Class. Not sure about Tim Ream. Just saying.
Yeah, I would. You know what? There's a lot of talk about the Europa League, and I'd have to say I would take it. No.
You were coming second a minute ago.
No, but what
we'll
I
have
mean,
to have some money on that later.
But it's just like Chelsea. You go, okay, what do you want? You want
Why
top
have you
four.
brought it back to me in my pain?
Because I'm just going to show what a hypocrite you are. You want top four, but if someone says, what would you take? I would take a run in the Europa League if that's what it is, because to me, we're clearly not quite at the Champions League level so far. And I'm not giving up yet. And thank God we've managed to keep it to 0-0. But you'd rather go in a league where you're more competitive than be humiliated. You know what I mean? And the Europa League would be a third place finish.
You've
wouldn't
been
it?
humiliated. Yeah, it would be a third place finish.
Yeah, we haven't been humiliated yet, but like we could have been. Like a few of these. Oh, Dan Burn, mate, get off. That's twice.
This is Lewis's Hall's opportunity. Bring him on.
How the fucking Dan? Like love to Dan Burn, right? Like he's a local hero in that, right? I'm not being a prick here, but his passing in this game has been horrific. Like. It's shite. It's not even bad. It's really bad.
He's gassed though, isn't he? He's had the absolute run around. This is where you sort of find the weakness in Dan though, because he's a centre back, isn't he? Really, come on.
Newcastle are looking like the San Marino of the Champions League. Shout out to Ernie. There, big love, mate. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I can't disagree.
You're a funny guy, mate.
I mean, we got. Here's the thing: is like. You know, Anthony Gordon was supposedly shite a year ago when we bought him, right? Murphy, you could argue, still is, right? And so we've got a lot of inexperienced players up front here. And look at the space in the midfield. It's horrendous.
Leao's just
we're in trouble.
Piss.
We are in trouble.
He's literally taking the piss.
Yeah. Oh, my days. Come on, lads. Come on. Tackled.
Look how much space he's got. So they picked up the ball 10 yards outside the penalty area with all the space in the world. God, their wingers are good. I have to be honest with you. Is that a corner?
Bloody reality check this. Honestly. Wow.
Nathan's asking me, will Chelsea go in for De Zerbi?
Of course they will.
I think we bloody well will. I think we'll ask the question and we'll probably put up 40 million to get him out. But I could see him going to City, you know.
Yeah.
I
Half-time,
could see him going.
somehow, we've made it to half-time and it's 0-0. Well, that was dreadful. I mean, thank God it's 0-0, don't get me wrong, but fucking hell.
Can you imagine Brian going in now at half-time and giving that team talk? I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that dressing room.
Someone said, Brian, you're being way too negative. It's 0-0 at the San Siro. Yes, but we've been absolutely played off the park, mate. And I did want to try and win this game. Like, I'm not saying we should win it, but we don't look even competitive. There's talk of nil point in the chat right now. Fucking hell.
Come on, right. This is your first game back in the Champions League in how many years?
20.
20 years. I think to go to the San Siro, keep it a 0-0. Come on, mate. Yeah. I think it's all right. And in fact, I think if you kept it at this scoreline, got a draw out of this first game away, that would be a decent result, would it not?
Yeah, but
I'm
tweeting now, so tell me if I'm talking shit. But I'm going to write, we are lucky to be 0-0.
You are lucky to be 0-0, to be fair. I mean, Rafael Leao has just basically done a Balotelli pre-season moment.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it wasn't the same result with Mancini hooking him off, to be fair, with that awful performance. Ah, dear. Well, lads, in the chat, what do you think? Should Newcastle be happy with that result so far? Like, is that a decent showing for the first game back? Let us know.
So I put half time. That was tough going. Lucky to be 0-0. Fair?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
All right, I'll press tweet.
You're
now.
not
Don't
slagging
give me
him
any post-match commentary now. Done it. Done it.
Oh dear.
I don't want to be harsh on the lads because I know that this is a level up, but fucking hell. I thought the level up. You see, given the fact that we've competed with City this season, we gave them a decent game. We were hard to beat. Pep said it. Well, it was only 1-0. The only team that they only scored one against, I think. Liverpool, we were beating for the vast majority of the game until we bottled it. So I thought, I took confidence from that. I thought, are Milan on the level of Liverpool and City? Milan there have outplayed us worse than they did.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Yeah. Can we talk about expectations for Newcastle, right? Because this is your first.
Jesus, bro, look at the XG. Read that out.
Okay. XG at halftime. I love that you're following XG philosophy. That's really cheered me up. AC Milan 1.76, Newcastle 0.12. That was from, by the way, a shot which got blocked from Geordie, which was a very bad shot.
Oh.
I mean, it was nowhere near the goal.
I mean, it was miles away.
Yeah. We gotta love XG, by the way, though. You just gotta love those stats. Chelsea are winning the league, mate, on XG.
Look at Jacob Murphy here in the Champions League.
He loves it. This is his best moment of his life.
Soak it up, Jacob, because
Probably
this
won't be
is
playing many
the
times.
absolute last time. Fuck me.
Dear. It's harsh.
Oh, God.
Is XG BS to everyone in the chat? Do you put much weight in XG? Because a lot of people do, right? And it sometimes tells the story of a game, but I mean, it kind of has told the story of today, hasn't it?
It's absolutely
honest,
told
mate.
the fucking story.
Let's be honest.
They've had 15 shots, 7 on target to our 2 off target.
Do you think Eddie's gone into this game and gone, draw would actually be fine? Do you think he set up the team to do that?
I can't think for 1 second that Eddie genuinely thought we would be embarrassed like that.
Yeah.
Because that was, without the goals, okay, but in terms of general play, we don't look like we belong in their league. And I don't think Eddie would have thought it would have been that bad. And I don't think they would have thought it'd have been that easy. Like, it's been, the gulf in class has been massive. And here's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to people like Bruno Guimaraes and other players who think that they're already there. There's the level, lads. You're miles away. And I'm not saying Bruno isn't a good player. I'm just saying, look at what's just happened. So...
Can we talk about expectations for a second, right? Because I think before this game, were you expecting Newcastle to go and win the Champions League?
No.
So
I was hoping to win a match, though. A match.
Yeah, but like, do you go into this and go, let's just enjoy every single minute of the Champions League journey? And then do we just go, it is what it is. If we get knocked out, we get knocked out, but we're going to enjoy it. It's great to be there. It's great to be back. And we can carry on and push. Like, it's your first season back. Like... Do you need to sort of like go, oh, come on, like this is our level at the moment. We're there. It's brilliant that we're there and we just got to make the most of it.
There's truth in that, for sure. And for every single Champions League game, I will feel that way to a degree. However, there's a caveat. If we lose this game and we lose the next game and we lose the next game, it starts becoming a painful competition to be in. I know what it feels like to expect to lose every game as a Newcastle fan. And right now, I think the most concerning thing is not, are Newcastle going to win the Champions League? Obviously, we're not. Are we going to progress out the group stage? Probably not, right? But that's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm concerned about is how terrible our passing is. In Premier League, in Champions League, we don't look half the side we were last season. And I have been saying that every single game outside of the Aston Villa win, obviously, this season, we've been miles off it. And that should be far more concerning for every Newcastle fan, is that you've worked really hard to get into the Champions League, and all of a sudden, there's been a huge drop-off. And if we don't maintain these levels, well, then we'll be out the Champions League and we can forget about it. And we can't just go and spend every penny of Saudi money because that's not how FFP works. So hard work has to come into it. And right now, we look miles away from what we were last season. And yet we've bought players.
I still think you're on a journey though, mate. And I still think you need to invest to get this squad to be.
I'm agreeing
week
with
in,
you,
week out,
but
Champions
the
League
point
level.
I'm making is the level of players who played well last season is dropping. They are allowing their levels to drop. So the question is why? Why are we not passing the ball confidently? Why are we not doing it with accuracy and speed? And why are we bottling big games when the pressure is on in terms of players don't want to come towards the ball and show for it and go, yeah, give me the ball, pal. Like, it's a complete, like, I don't want to be on the ball right now. I don't want the pressure. We're wilting a little bit. And that's happening in multiple games. And honestly, yeah, we beat Brentford. Did we play well? Did we fuck?
What do you think the reason for this decline is then? Like, what do you think's behind it at the moment? Is it the players' mentality? Like, do you think there's a chance that the boys have just switched off? They've gone, we've got to the Champions League, we gave it everything we had last season, and there's not as much desire there. Do you think it could be that? Are you worried about that? Like, are you worried about the mentality of the boys?
If you look at us last season, there was a player who's been missing, and that's Joe Willock. Now, I'm not saying Joe Willock is the reason, but energy and engines have helped us. Now, Joe Linton's injured tonight. Joe Willock is injured tonight. Both of those guys offer us a lot of power in the midfield. And if your passing accuracy isn't there, then the legs will be. St. Maximin isn't there. You know, for me, St. Maximin was a better footballer than any of our wingers. But he didn't have necessarily the end product, but he would do a lot of things for us, help alleviate the pressure. He did want the ball. He wasn't scared. Give me the ball. I'm going to run into the corner with it, take some pressure off of the midfield. And, you know, that left side was very strong because of Willock, Joe Linton, and St. Maximin. We now have none of those three. And, yeah, it's just... I think the midfield's been the main problem, though. There's gaps in there that should not be there. Last season, it was the three of Bruno, Willock, Joe Linton, or Longstaff in there, and that midfield has just dropped a bit this season. It's been crap. So that really has been a worry. And look, it's only a half, and we might come back into it in the second half. But everything I'm saying is...
Can you imagine the limbs if you manage to nick this and win it tonight?
I think
after the domination
that would be borderline miracle there. That would feel like a real miracle moment.
That could be a season turnarounder. That could a turnarounder, mate. It could be completely.
You know who I'm looking at? I'm looking at. There's two players who I think we need to absolutely deliver in the second half, and if they don't, which they didn't in the first half, we're fucked. Bruno and Tonali. If those two don't step up, we're gonna be fucked in this game.
I was gonna say Isak as well. He needs to have a big second half.
He does, but you can't have a big half when you're not getting the ball.
That's true. Yeah.
And right now, the midfield is losing the battle, and that's the real worry for me. Like, it's so we've been fucking beaten up quite badly in this game so far, and we're lucky to still be in the fight. You know,
you've got to invest in January as well. I'm sorry, there are still quite a lot of.
But this is what I've been saying about. We've spent, for example, 70 million on two fullbacks who aren't in the team. Why? That 70 million could have been spent on a James Maddison or a Slobozai or, you know, those level of footballers who can take a ball on and open a game up. Right now, we don't have that. And what more worryingly, we don't have a six. We don't have a guaranteed defensive central midfielder who will win you the ball back. So the ball winning isn't good enough. And then when we get the ball, what we do with it isn't good enough. Those are huge problems for a midfield to have because we've got passengers at the moment. And Milan haven't. Milan are all too willing. Give me the ball. We'll bring it to you.
They've got so much quality.
Someone said Hall was a loan. That's already bought and paid for. We've already agreed the fee. 35 million.
Yeah. It's a loan with an obligation.
Yeah.
So it has to happen.
Me and Josh have had a lot of arguments about it.
Yeah, fucking hell, we literally did. I think we had about 2 weeks where
It
we
was
didn't know what
so
was going
funny
on.
when every time we'd hear something different, we'd send it to each other.
Yeah.
Someone said Saba wouldn't go to Newcastle. The point I'm making about him is we were linked with him before Liverpool were. And when we didn't get him, the attention turned to James Maddison. When we didn't get him, nothing. Why? If you've identified a profile, then you know you need a player in that profile. Well, we've given up. So
do you liken this to like early Man City though? Do you liken it where
No.
it's like
No.
it's that era where they try and get some Galacticos in, they've still got some of the old boys that,
Nope.
that are there.
I think it's completely different because of what Man City have done. Man City have broken every rule in the books, and now they're watching Newcastle like a hawk. So we can't get away with that. We have to do it. Really, we can't just buy our way to success. It's going to be a lot slower. And yeah, I'm sure money will be spent, but it will never ever be anything like the 2 billion or whatever City spent over that period of time. We'll never see anything like that again.
Like there's a lot of pressure on the sort of the transfer system at Chelsea, right? So I often have to talk about, the board direction, the football directors, etc. Right? Do you have confidence in your transfer business?
Well, we took the
directors?
director from Brighton.
Yeah.
So that made me think, brilliant. I mean, he's obviously done a good job. Since then, there's mates of mine who've been talking to people at Brighton, been like, "Oh, he was never the brains behind it. It's the guy who they still got." And you hear that, and you think,
It's a big
God,
old group.
doesn't sound great. And especially when they still fly in Brighton, like you can take everything out of them, and yet they still keep going. But regardless, everything I've heard is the guy who we've got is good, right? So fair enough, best in class, we've got him. But right now, it's clear our transfers were not the right moves to make in the summer. I'm not saying one day Lewis Hall won't be a class footballer. I'm not saying that. Who's the other fullback? Sorry, we got from
Livramento.
Livramento.
You struggle with
I
that one.
can't remember their names because we never
I know.
fucking play them.
I know.
Right? So we spent 70 million on them. We don't start them.
He came on right wing the other day.
We spent 35 million on Bonds. We don't start him a lot, right?
Yeah.
Who else did we sign? Tonali, right? So we're starting Tonali. We spent over 100 million on players who don't start for us. That is just not smart. Like, I know we need strength and depth, but when you've got weaknesses in your starting 11, you do that first, then the bench.
Yeah.
And what you do is you buy players and then demote players who are currently starting onto the bench. You shouldn't be buying players with a view to putting them on the bench. That to me sounds mental. But anyway, look, if you're Chelsea, maybe if you're a mega club, yeah. But we're not that. We're just getting our feet in the ground here. So I just don't get it really. But hopefully I'll be proven wrong in time. But in that first half, everything I worried about of are we signing Champions League level footballers who are ready now has been answered. No, we haven't. And there you go. We've got one in Tonali, and we clearly have a lot of weaknesses in this team right now. So, yeah. Looks like they're going to bring on your mate Pulisic as well.
This is a really interesting one because they've got Florenzi, who I believe is another winger, already stripped off and coming on anyway. And they're briefing these two other lads as well, Pulisic being another winger. So maybe he is absolutely fuming with Leao, and
I wouldn't take him off. Bloody hell!
Oh God, Tomori didn't look happy there. He looked like he was having an argument with someone. They're all just having a chat with Tonali in the tunnel. I'm not sure about what you feel about that, mate, but I'm not happy about that. They're having a fucking chin wag.
Yeah, I mean, all I care about is what happens on the pitch, and right now it's not being good.
Come on, mate. Can you imagine Vieira and Keane having a chat and a cuddle in the tunnel at half time?
We
in a massive game.
We look miles off of this.
I wouldn't be happy with that. Sorry. Yes, we will let you know when the Florenzi is a fullback. Yeah, my mistake. Yeah. They are briefing these two boys that they're going to be coming on here.
Not yet, but they will do.
Yeah. Well, look, I still think a draw would be a good result in this game.
Oh,
I really
especially
do.
after that half.
There he is. Tyndall, big man.
Mad Dog. he's
I
such
love
a
this
fucking
guy
name, isn't he?
so much.
So Florenzi's getting subbed on officially.
Yeah, fullback. My mistake. He's coming on for. Who's he coming on for? Here we go. Half-time sub. There must be an injury there, eh?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Oh, and also he's come off for the right back, so it's a light for light replacement, and he was on a yellow as well. So here we go.
Wish us luck, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate all the comments. Get any questions in you've got in the chat. Apparently, if Newcastle finish bottom and Man United finish bottom of their Champions League groups, then England only get 4 Champions League places this season, not 5.
interesting. I'm not sure it works exactly like that. I think it has. I think it's got to do with the Europa League as well.
Okay, if you can confirm whatever you know,
Yeah.
Mr. Games,
Mr. Daddy.
DWG. So yeah, Newcastle are now underway. 45 minutes, 11, 12, 13, 14 seconds, and again giving the ball away immediately, as per fucking usual. I loved Italy. Such a beautiful place, man.
I know. Great food, great football,
Great women.
great women.
It's true, though.
Oh
It's true,
God,
honestly.
I am very keen to go back to Italy
Mate,
quite soon.
Mate, you fall in love every second
Quite
day.
soon, yeah. It's a beautiful place.
It really is. Yeah.
I would get like a lot fatter there.
Oh, mate,
I have to be honest
mate,
with you.
mate,
I would eat a lot of
mate,
pizza, a lot
literally,
of pasta,
just so much cheese and pasta.
Yeah.
And you know what comes with that? For
just
me,
lots of bread.
Josh isn't a drinker, but I like my wine, and wine full of calories.
Like
Honestly,
it.
I've noticed I've been having a bit more of it lately, and I seen it in my face, and I'm like, oh, you fat bastard! I need to drop the carbs
But you
down.
felt the power in the gym. The calories in the gym have been
mate,
really
the gym was
helping.
well and truly sucked off. So I need to get back on my thing.
Yeah. They're talking about doing another rebuild in the chat here.
Yeah. Well,
Here
they're
we
just
go.
looking at me face. Fucking hell, son. It's got to be on the way, hasn't it?
Dear.
All right. Newcastle have lumped it up. Go on. I think we need Gordon on the ball a bit more as well. Tonali crosses it. Oh, cuts inside and has a shot blocked. Big Dan Burn. Newcastle looking a little bit more like they think they can actually play football here. Get it down and play some football, lads. Come on, man. Terrible pass from Bruno. Luckily kept in by Kieran Trippier. Bruno, what are you doing, lad? Come on, man. You don't.
I have to say, what a signing Trippier was for you. Bloody, how did you pull that one off?
To be
How
honest,
did you pull that one off?
it
Come
actually
on.
we actually owe his missus a thank you because she wanted to move up north back in the.
Oh, did she?
I think that's where they were originally from.
Yeah.
And Newcastle were the club that were northern that were willing to go in, and like literally, we were very lucky.
Yeah.
You know the
He's
thing about him
an
is
unbelievable
he's very much captain material.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, he's a leader.
Elite mentality.
Yeah.
And also he's
Go on.
been there.
Oh, fucking duck.
This is the thing. Like, I worry about like our squad more than anything. It's just like we don't have experience in the Champions League, and
Mate,
players like Trippier are invaluable in games like this.
it's so tricky when you're trying to build a young squad because you don't. You want a young team to grow together and to improve all the time, but if you don't have leaders, and look, you've got Thiago Silva and but it's sometimes fucking hell, man, ref, are you fucking joking? If you don't have those sensible older heads to guide these young men out on the pitch, that is never a foul.
Mate, welcome to European football. It's
Fucking
very
soft
it's
cock.
very soft. Yeah.
Soft.
very
Oh
soft.
my god, that is so bad.
Do you remember? It's a disgrace.
Is that a yellow? You got a yellow card for that?
Oh dear.
Fucking soft.
Oh
Twat.
dear.
That referee is an embarrassment.
How are you going to change
Look at
this
them.
game? Yeah, he was loving it.
He's flamboyant, bitchy fucking attitude, man. Who are you? Flamboyant bitch. Like, he's doing it as if he's fucking...
He was enjoying that.
Like in Panto or something?
He's one of those refs that wants to be centre of attention.
You can literally, man.
But we're not blaming the refs, mate. We're not blaming the refs today because that was a bad one. But overall, they haven't been that bad.
Yeah. Sorry, we did miss a super chat there, didn't we?
We did. Nathan's been freaking dropping them today.
Brian,
Nathan.
hot take, but would you take third place in the group, dropping down to the Europa League, potentially winning that? Look, if you could guarantee me a Europa League final right now, I'd take it in a heartbeat, mate. 100%. I want to be in as many cup finals as humanly possible.
Long stuff with a run. That's a fact.
The referee
you
doesn't
something?
give it.
No, he has. Yes.
I
mean, look at the shirt there.
He said literally an elbow to the head. I don't think he elbowed his head. I think he had his elbow up while challenging, but it wasn't an elbow to the head.
I think he connected with his head and his elbow.
Go on.
But it wasn't a foul, is what Brian's trying to say.
Fucking state of this.
Just to clarify.
Come on. Oh, Gordon needs to get in the fucking game here, son. Come on. Dan Burn wins a throw-in. Does he? No.
Unbelievable passing from Dan Burn.
We'll take that.
That was territory, wasn't it? Playing for touch. Bit of rugby. The World Cup's on. Let's just do a bit of rugby.
Dan Burn looks more like a rugby player. We got the chance of Arsenal in the chat here. What minute are we in? 50 minutes, 34 seconds.
There you go. Some people asking, Jack especially, was asking for an early prediction for the North London derby, mate. Who do you think is going to win that game? We are, to clarify, we're streaming it.
We need to have words. Did you see that?
What was that?
Did you see this?
What was that? Murphy. Why is he shooting from there?
I'm raging at the fucking moron. He scored one goal from distance, and now he's shooting from everywhere. Do you know what? I've not really looked forward to a North London derby for a long time.
This is going to be a good game, isn't it?
Because with all due respect to Spurs fans, obviously, and Arsenal fans, usually there's one team significantly stronger than the other, right?
Yeah.
And for a period there, it was Spurs.
Is that not the case now?
And then it became Arsenal, but Spurs were outside of Harry Kane. You know, they had nothing. This season, this could be a really evenly matched game.
Are Arsenal not a much better team on paper?
On paper, yes, but the way Spurs are playing, I give them a lot more of a chance than I normally would. That's the ideal scenario for a derby like this. You don't want to go into it going, I guarantee I know who's won.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that.
I don't feel like that at all, but I would say a lot of Arsenal fans would argue that they've got a much better team on paper. That they're levels above Spurs.
Yeah, but if we're talking about Newcastle are in trouble.
Florenzi's, come on.
Ooh. If we're talking about the eye test, Arsenal have not been playing amazingly this season. They've been doing it enough to get the results. I didn't feel like Arsenal played great against Everton. I didn't feel like Arsenal played great against Man United. I feel like Spurs, you could argue, played better against Man United than Arsenal did. They outclassed them with ease. So, I give Spurs a fair shot, like. Yeah, I'd lean Arsenal, but I really believe Spurs can...
Where is it?
It's at Arsenal.
I just have a feeling about Spurs, this time around. I feel that they've got such a wave of momentum. They're playing pretty well. I just have a weird feeling, and it wasn't convincing that Everton match, was it?
No, it was crap, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it wasn't convincing.
They really needed Trossard to come on and save the day.
Yeah.
Do you now realise how much you overachieved last season, Brian? Yeah, I mean, I've realised it since the start of this season because we've just not looked like the same football team at all, particularly in the midfield. The energy levels and the passing accuracy has been quite poor. So it's really dawning on us. And look, when you have a new manager come in and the momentum's with you and the feelings are buzzing and everyone's playing for the shirt, you can overwhelm sides. And I think there's a bit of that going on at Spurs right now. But the levels will come out eventually, right? And I'm not saying that our real level is what we're at now. Maybe we're in a low period and that we'll get better as the season goes on. But we're definitely not at the level we were at last season. Oh. Go on.
Okay, come on then.
Get the cross
Murphy's in here.
Get the cross in, you fucker.
Oh,
Good
what
cross.
a save.
Keeper
from
pushes it
Mannion.
out. That was a good save.
It was
wasn't
really good. He's a very good goalkeeper, and in fact, a lot of big teams want him. Oh, what was that celebration? Bruno celebrating a tackle. You gotta love it.
Yeah, he's
You've
got passion.
got to love that from a defensive midfielder.
I'd rather him set a goal up, but I'll take it. Do you know what I mean?
I do know.
Yeah, that was good goalkeeping. We're just seeing the replay of that. The big guy.
Connor's giving you a big compliment saying the set for the main table looks beautiful. It
Thank
does
you,
look
mate.
good.
Yeah, we love it. And, it's not just me. Well, a lot of people have worked, including Josh, to help make this a reality. So well done to the whole team.
Yeah,
We've been putting the work in.
It does look bloody good.
Yeah, the missus helped as well, set designer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So yeah, I just rope everyone into my my problems.
Your crazy idea.
And you know what? We've faffed around with the lighting, which has really helped it as well. I really like the new blue and gold look. Yeah, I love it. Do you think I'll ever have kids of your own? Are you asking me to adopt you, Andy?
I think he'd like to. Andy, would you like to be adopted?
Come here, son.
You have to call him Dad.
What else we got?
Dear.
Nice to see the kick-off with a steady set of regulars
Got
again.
some
Yeah,
good
we love the
ones.
guys. I think Joey's been killing it. He's really got a great take on football. And another thing that's nice is like having Craig and KG and a few of the other lads who have become regulars. But after the show, we all hang out. We have food. We have drinks. Like we're all mates, and yeah, we get on great. You can feel it on the show as well. I feel like it's really coming across that there's like a real good vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we'll debate and we'll argue, but we get on really well, and I think that comes across.
Yeah. It's good. We got it's more than just a group of 5 people as well. It's like we've got so many other contributors.
Yeah.
And we got I think what I always wanted as well was to have people from different clubs as well. And so we've got a few people in the works that are from non-top 6, top 7 sides. Do you know what I mean? Like to give a bit
I'm
more
looking forward to having a
representation.
couple of different guys on.
Yeah, got
and then
some Villa fans coming.
we had
in
Manel on recently, who was really good. I think he's on this weekend.
Yes, he is.
Who he runs the Top Baller YouTube channel and isn't usually like a pundit, but I think he nailed it and did really well. Someone said thoughts on Slobozai this season. Really hard to watch because Newcastle were the first club to go in for him. I think Liverpool had been tracking him as well, obviously, but we made an approach, and Liverpool were immediately like, okay, let us nail this real quick. And obviously they're a bigger club than us, so fair play. He's a fantastic footballer. And I wouldn't care. You know, sometimes you see highlights and you're like, it's just YouTube highlights. I seen the highlights of Slobozai this summer, and I really, really believed. I thought, ooh, he looks great. I hope we get him. And then when he went to Liverpool, I was like, I hope it's one of them where he just flops. And then you see him, you're like, oh, he really is that good then. Fuck.
I think he's been a great player. I think he's been a great player for a long time. You watch him playing in Europe, he always tore it up. Do you know what was interesting as well? Is Hungary have actually got quite a decent team.
Yeah.
He always tore it up in the international level as well.
One thing about the game so far, guys, by the way, we're about 12 minutes into the second half, is it's slowed down, and I think that's benefiting Newcastle in us not being as stretched. Obviously, when Milan were all over us, they were really stretching the gaps between the defence and between the midfield in the middle there, and it seems to have calmed down a bit. Murphy is really losing the ball a lot, and I would bring him off as soon as possible at this point.
And obviously, you bring on Almiron, because you're a massive fan.
I know I've mugged Almiron off, right? but with a fresh set of legs on him, he might offer more.
Do you not think he'd run around like a headless chicken though?
He would, but you know what? Like he's a bit of a weird one in that in this kind of game, I'd roll the dice on him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then Gordon hasn't had a good game either, so I'd consider going Almiron, Barnes, and Wilson for the last half an hour.
Wow!
Yeah.
Mix up the front three. Love it. I would like to see Isak and Wilson playing together today. I think that would be a good shot.
Well, Isak is. I've talked him up so much, and I really believe he is that guy.
You have.
But he's not getting the ball.
Yeah.
And that's becoming a real issue because how is he going to score goals without getting the fucking ball?
I have to say, they have been so bad in the final third today. They've been so
they've been
wasteful.
wasteful. Yeah.
They've got so much excitement. Like this guy,
It's hard for me to criticise when we can't even get into the final.
Their two wingers are so explosive.
Yeah.
So exciting. They just haven't
Go
been
on,
able to finish
Gordon,
it.
run, you fucker, run! Come on, son. Oh, that is so shit. Oh. Gordon and Murphy have been fucking horrendous with the ball here. Like, Isak is looking at him going, what the fuck are you giving me here? I'm living on scraps, man. Yeah.
I do think, mate, you know, you've got to be happy that you've got a 0-0 so far. After
mate,
60
Kieran
minutes,
Trippier's playing like a Terminator there.
Yeah,
What a tackle, son. Come on.
What was that pass from Murphy? You need to freshen up the wings.
Yeah, Murphy's absolute garbage.
I think you could even do with a midfield change. Who could you bring on to change it in midfield?
I'm not sure.
Not really anyone. You got Joel Linton's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Willock is injured.
Go on.
He's offside.
Oh, you fucker.
He's offside. Way offside.
He's offside.
Yeah.
Should we bring up the subs bench? Could you?
Yeah, of course I can. Of course.
Shout out to the chat once again. Big love for everyone getting involved here. The way Brian is talking, you'd think Newcastle is down 5-0. Look, this is how I always am when I watch Newcastle. I'm not a sane human, right? I can't help it. But yeah.
I think your options in midfield are limited. I'd say you've got Anderson, Miley, or maybe even Lewis Hall. Do you know what? Lewis Hall could be very good to bring on here. I'm sorry. He could be
I don't
very
know why
good
the fuck we don't play the guy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, here we go. Are they making a double change here? Looks like it.
They're being aggressive. Yeah.
They are being aggressive. They're going for the win, and rightly so, because they've had chances.
Oh, fucking shite that, man. Our defence has calmed things down. I'll give them credit for that in the second half. But again, the midfield so wasteful. We are really bad passers of the football.
It's Pulisic. Yeah, so Pulisic has just come on the wing. If I were you, I would be a little bit worried about that because he is.
We've had a guy calling Trippier out. Look,
why?
Saying that we're getting destroyed. I actually think Trippier in the second half has been fantastic, and in the first half, the whole back four was getting ripped to shreds. So you know, I don't know why we should be singling anyone out in the back four because, to be honest, a whole lot of them were struggling. Callum Wilson is coming on.
Who's he going to come on for, mate? It can't be Isak.
Oh, as is Almiron.
What was that? Number 9 is Wilson, isn't it?
So
they've got that wrong.
And Murphy's on.
Yeah.
And Isak is off as well, sorry. So Murphy and Isak are off. Almiron and Wilson are on. I got no problems with that. No. Yeah, it's not Isak. That's the smart thing. I'm sorry. That is exactly the sub I would have done. No, you called it.
Slap Isak over on the left-hand side. You need goal-scoring wingers. Like, neither of these guys are goal-scoring wingers.
Gordon and Murphy have been poor.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't even been okay. They've been poor.
Yeah.
And I think this is a bit of a reality check for Gordon as well, because I know he wants to go all the way. And good for him. Like, he's an ambitious kid. He's a determined kid. But, you know, you're not there yet, mate. There's a lot more work need putting in here. And I'm sure he'll probably be aware of it when he watches it back.
In a weird way, I feel that this probably should have been your starting 3. I think you should have started with this and then get a goal. And then if you need to go defensive, you can bring on the legs of Murphy. And
yeah, I agree. I think the reason being for the team's selection is that we are now managing 2 competitions. And I think that's new for us. And we're probably looking to preserve... we're in trouble. Good
that was
save.
An unbelievable shot there. That was very quick feet. Unbelievable.
Newcastle play the ball out, and how long can we keep it for? We're in trouble already, and we've given it away immediately. This is just poor.
Was that Trips?
I'm not going to complain because the entire team are giving the ball away. Yeah. It's everyone. And also, who was there for him? What I will say is Dan Burns been tackling everyone in the second half, so fair play.
Big Dan.
He had a nightmare first half. Him and Trippier, defensively, have been good in the second half. But attacking-wise, look at that. Look at the way we're passing around. It's not good enough, man.
You're keeping the ball, though, mate. It's important.
We're
There you
not,
go,
though.
lost it.
Bruno's losing it every time.
Commentator's curse.
Our midfield are so shit. It's unbelievable.
Just keep the ball. You need to get them running around and tie them out a bit more.
Come on, quickly.
Otherwise, you're going to be
Think
gassed.
fast,
No,
man, you fuckers.
Keep the ball. Keep the ball. You got to slow this game down now. That was a poor pass.
You know what I love
Almiron.
about Brighton? You know what I love about Brighton?
Yeah.
They have the ball and they're more than happy to keep it.
Yeah.
And by that, what they do is they don't make unnecessary passes. They wait side to side, better option. Whereas we look like a bunch of kids here who feel the pressure of this moment.
Yeah.
So we're changing how we should be playing based on the pressure. Like, if they're not coming to you, sit on the ball. We're happy to have 0-0. You should be wanting to take the ball from us. Make them work for it. Get them chasing shadows a bit. Open them up. That's why Brighton will bring the ball out with the keeper and let Manchester United move forward to then catch them out at the back. We're not doing that. We look clueless in the middle of the park. Brian has lost it. Yeah, sorry about that.
He hasn't lost it. He's passionate about this game. Come on, boys. Come on.
Newcastle in the final third, giving the ball away again. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yep.
I do think you need to mix the midfield up because otherwise you're just going to be absolutely gassed by the end of this game.
I mean,
but you haven't really got many options.
We've got Elliot Anderson, who has looked quite average, in my opinion, when I've watched him. I'm getting to a point now where we've heard so many times about from the Newcastle coaching staff and everyone how great he is. And I've seen flickers of quality from him. I'm not saying, but overall, average. And he looked incredibly average in the last game. Lewis Miley, on the other hand, is 17, but he looks a lot better, in my opinion. But it's how confident are we at putting the lad on at the San Siro?
I have to be honest, though. Lewis Hall, right, he comes on against big teams and he always played well.
Yeah.
He played very well against City.
What the fuck are we signing him for?
Yeah, I know. But you signed him as a left back. That's the problem.
Well, I if he can play midfield, fucking get him on, as far as I'm concerned.
Here we go. Go on, Amron. The
Oh,
problem
that's
is
so
they're
shit,
very
man.
quick at the back, so Almiron's not going to be able to use any of his
There's
plays.
no way I can look back at this game and say good performance. It'll do. It'll do. And you know what? Against Brentford, same feeling. It'll do. But it's not enjoyable.
I mean, a lot of teams won't be beating Brentford, mate. So come on, you've beaten them. You've got
exactly.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like I'm in no rush to watch the highlights. You know.
Yeah. Will you be doing another UFC watch along?
Yeah, we'll do the UFCs. I'll be honest, I'd do them every single week if it wasn't for the fact that it's at 3 a.m. in the morning. Know what I mean? Like,
so true.
It's so good watching the UFC. I love doing the watch-alongs, but like, fuck me.
You guys going to stay up for it? Dear. Are you going to be doing one for KSI Fury? Good question.
I am 99% sure we will be doing KSI Fury table show, and we'll be getting a group of the fight fans on.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Be really good.
And actually, that'll be one of my favourite shows we do all year, I think.
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Put that in the diary. 14th of October, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. Less than a month away. Very exciting. Does Dylan Dennis show up? Probably not.
You know what? I think he might.
Good. I hope he does.
I'm only starting to believe this purely because he's in so much legal debt that he might have to. Like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's 150 grand to pay to Nina.
Yeah.
For all the shit he's done, and then if he doesn't show up, he also owes another 100 grand to DAZN, Misfits, for putting the putting the fight on. And I think there might be more money that he might owe out as well. So it's going to be tough. And it's not just 150 grand he'll owe to Nina. It'll be legal fees as well. So that's going to be tough.
So he
for
needs
him,
the money.
Yeah, so look, the guy isn't made of money, clearly. So, and he's just had a kid as well. So I'm hoping that he's just a man about it and shows up and takes the ass beating. And that's the end.
You don't think he's got a chance?
Nah. I think he's, in the words of Alan Hansen, he's woeful, terrible, woeful. It's literally like, and look, I know Logan. I just understand there's going to be so many levels between these two. It's going to be painful for him.
Yeah.
There's the only X factor is just I don't know how tough Dylan is. You know, maybe Dylan can take it for a while, but I know he can't punch.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how if he's man enough to take a beating. He should be because he's a genuine martial artist, but it's it's different in it. Jiu-jitsu and boxing is very different. Taking punches like that, you have to kind of be a bit wrong in the head. Newcastle getting exposed here a little bit at the back.
Why are they shooting from 40 yards out?
I think they're lucky. The thing for Newcastle that's got us lucky is Milan look out of ideas, but we have never had an idea. At least they started well.
Yeah, but
we've
shooting
never
from
looked
40 yards out, mate, is not a good look. This is not good for Ruben here. He looks like he's going to have to go off. I mean, another injury for an ex-Chelsea player.
He's giving you flashbacks.
It is giving me flashbacks. He's giving me current backs, to be honest with you. The way that our squad's going is it's not good.
Yeah. What we saying here, Ben? Appreciate your breakdown, Brian, and indeed, Josh. Loved your decisions on the kickoff, and we'll enjoy the partnership. I don't know. I think Josh could do it all, and we've witnessed since the opening.
Oh wow, thank you.
Well, Josh can do it all. Believe me. Believe me. There's nothing this man doesn't do. There's fucking Swiss Army knife up there, I'll tell you.
I stopped short of boxing, but other than that, yeah.
But no, in terms of production, Josh does a lot behind the scenes. I haven't really talked a lot of the business, but in terms of helping us find people on the kickoff, in terms of like the scouting sort of thing, in terms of coming up with all the topics, in terms of controlling the debate, in terms of setting up us for sponsors, he does everything. So yes, he does do it all. Thoughts on the Russell Brand story? Yeah, well, obviously, we've had him on the podcast, so we've made a decision to just not talk about that while everything's unfolding. The last thing I want to do is say something offensive to people or something that's incorrect, especially with my history. Like, I don't want to upset anyone, and it is a really delicate situation with everything just being found out in the last week in terms of the documentary coming out, and Russell still hasn't really said his side of it. So we're not going to cover it for the time being. But yeah, I hope you understand that. So that's all I can say right now, guys, I'm afraid.
Elliot Anderson coming on for Tonali. He's getting a very good send-off as well there,
I'm
which is
surprised.
nice to see. It's nice to see.
I'm surprised it's Tonali and not Bruno. But yeah, I don't know if they're giving him a lot of love, aren't they?
And rightly so. It's interesting, isn't it, that he is getting so much love when really you could argue he should have stayed there. You know what?
Well, he didn't want to leave.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's the reason why they've allowed it, I think, because they basically, Milan needed the money.
Yes.
And he is the biggest signing in Italian football history. He's the most expensive Italian player ever.
Yeah.
Which is mad when you look at the quality of Italian footballers, but that's because Italian players very rarely leave the Italian league.
Yeah. But you look at some of the strikers that Serie A has had, and you go, why have they not gone for big money? You know?
Yeah, I guess when I look back at Italian strikers or Italian footballers, in their prime, bit worried here.
Florenzi.
That could have been a goal.
Scored Leao.
There was a fantastic cross that went in, and Leao gets his header onto it, just over the bar.
Is he injured it?
He's holding his shoulder. Yeah. This was a really good run. And to be honest, a little bit disappointed with our defenders there that we didn't stop it. But To be fair, the guy is rapid, quick.
Can I just say, this is one of those moments, you know, when you miss a real sitter and you go, "Oh God, that really hurt my ankle. God, my ankle.
It is.
God, that's why I missed it, guys.
That's
sorry,
exactly right.
so sorry, my ankles."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Or when you miss a penalty, you look at the penalty spot. That's my favourite.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
God, there's a fucking massive divot there,
Yeah.
lads. For fuck's sake. We've all been there.
That old chestnut.
I've done it, mate. I've done it myself.
Oh.
Sunday league football. That was my go-to. That was my absolute go-to.
Do you know what's mad, right? Is I have to be honest. I never thought that we were gonna like batter Milan here, right? But I also didn't think we would just be such a. How do I put this? I didn't think we would just be so easily played off the park here, and they're in behind again. There's a real chance.
Oh my God.
And we are incredibly lucky to get away with it again. We are so lucky to keep this to 0-0. I mean, a 0-0 would feel like 3 points here for me.
Yeah. I think it should do. I think away at this ground is a good. I've said it over and over again. I think it's a great result. I think you should be happy with it. Look, put it this way, mate. If you get draws at all the away games, you've got a very good chance of going through.
Absolutely,
You've got a very good chance.
It's more worrying that we haven't played well this season outside of one game. And by that, I don't mean we've played terrible in all those games, but we've played poorly in too many. And it's a real chance. Should be a goal. Another last-ditch block. Another last-ditch block.
Days.
Bodies on the line. At least the commitment's there from the lads. Well done.
Have they had now? This is mental. Is your next game next week, by the way?
I think we're playing on
12 shots, 6 on target.
I can't remember.
I'm going to look at the fixtures. Your next Champions League game, I believe, is the 4th of October. So you've got a fair while until that game. You've got Sheffield United, then Man City in the Cup, and then Burnley.
What day is the next game? Sunday.
The 4th, the 24th. You've got. So let's have a look.
Go on.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
Almiron on a run. Go on, lads. Afterburners. That's a pull.
On.
That is a fucking pull, referee. You fucking soft brat. You fucking soft cock. That was a fucking yellow card compared to the other one. You fucking soft prick. That referee, man. I hate these flamboyant fucking European twats. They're so fucking like, I'm the star of the show. They're even worse than English referees.
Come on, we can't blame the referee here, mate. It's not a Didier Drogba. It's a disgrace.
Mate, I'll never
it's
forget.
a disgrace.
A fucking disgrace.
That game was a joke. That game was a joke, mate. Yeah, I'm still fuming about that game now. Honestly, I swear on my life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never forget. I'll never forget that game.
Yeah, you really rated him.
And I'll hate Barcelona for the rest of my life for that game.
Yeah.
And you hate them just as much as I do.
Yeah, I've never really been a Barcelona or a Real Madrid guy.
You're an Atletico man. You are.
Ah.
You're a Diego Simeone 4-4-2.
I don't mind him, like, it's gangster,
Old
innit?
school football.
Yeah. What else we saying? Yeah. Big Brexit, Brian. I mean, yeah, I'm just complaining about Champions League referees, lad. It's not specific to anyone, just to be clear. But no, these. I mean, I've played, like, we've watched my team play like 70 minutes of Champions League football, and I've grouped every Champions League referee in with him. Sorry,
you have.
It's
Yeah,
not
you
really
literally. Welcome to football fans online.
This is how crazy I am.
Yeah,
right
welcome
now.
to
I've got
football
them all.
fans.
I've got the cards marked. Cross in, back post.
That is a push as
Chance.
well. That's
we are so lucky. Milan
Wow.
are pap in front of goal. They really are.
I mean, they should have scored about 6 goals.
Will and he's got in the San Siro right now, right?
Is he?
And it's like literally just shooting practice for Milan. Imagine you travelled all that way to watch this, though.
To be fair, it would be a good trip.
We haven't had a shot on target.
Yeah,
not one.
It would be a good trip.
Yeah, good trip, right?
It would be a good.
It
trip.
It is, but like. We've been a wet fart. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got their goalies. How many injuries have they got here? This is ridiculous. What's he done here? Oh, straight down. He's done. Wow. He's just said, I'm done.
Oh, we might have a prayer.
Oh, here we go. Who's their second
Just to be
choice
clear,
goalkeeper?
Milan have had 22 shots
No way.
to Newcastle's
How many,
4.
How
and
many are on target?
8 on target, Newcastle nil. So it's so funny because genuinely, I've just seen Eddie Howe talking to Isak. I forgot Isak was even playing. He's not had a kick.
He hasn't had a lot
He
of
hasn't had a
service.
fucking kick.
He hasn't had a lot of service, to be fair to him.
Jesus, my God.
Right, if you're injured, mate, get him up, walk him off the pitch, get on with the game. Let's have a go. I don't think Milan's keeper's had a save to make. He's got a point. Just saying, mate. He's got a point. I mean, this is easily 4 minutes of injury time just for this. Sportiello. What a name. What a name. Big shout out to Kent. You getting some love in the chat, Kent?
Big Kent.
You're getting some love in the chat. Big shout out to Kent.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. Someone said Newcastle have parked the bus. I think that's giving us credit for not this is if we meant to not have any attacks. I don't think that's what we've done at all. I think we wanted to try and play football. We've just been poor.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate. You haven't really played a lot of football. I'm gonna say that.
Newcastle should sub on an extra keeper. Someone said.
Yeah.
Look, we don't value passing. That's the thing right now. I must admit, right, it's one of those where you dream about getting back into the Champions League for 20 years, and when you're finding it, you're like, it's a bit overrated, this, isn't it?
I'd much rather not be in the Champions League. Actually, I prefer the Premier League. Sack it off.
I guess I'll explain myself better when I say that. If every game of football was like this, I'd probably just switch it off. I'm going to sound so ungrateful.
You are
right
a little ungrateful prick.
But you know what it is, right? The point, but I didn't think we'd necessarily win or it was just more like, we're just not good. Do you know what I mean? And it isn't because, and here's the thing, it's partly because of Milan, but it's also, we've just not been good this season.
You want to be there though, mate. Get a grip.
Yeah.
Get a fucking grip.
You know
I'm
what?
sat here, depressed. I play the music sometimes in my sleep just to remember the good times.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. But this is the thing, though. There is a silver lining, even though we haven't been great to watch yet. If we can nick a point, we then take that into the next game. If we win that game, all of a sudden, 4 points, things look completely different. It's the fact that we've been so dominated here that's been hard for me to handle. I
think you're gonna look back at the end of the group.
Big Dan Burn.
You're gonna watch the highlights from this game, and you're gonna go, "That was a good point."
Officially, we've just had another shot. Dan Burn headed wide.
He did one of those.
Sat with his, he's got his ankle there iced worryingly.
Classic.
Hope he's all right.
Classic.
It's a much better point for Newcastle than Milan. I'll take that. That's a good shout. You pick me up, guys. You pick me up. Thank you. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better already. Milan are on the attack here in the final third, and it's good football down the wing once again, and it's in. And I tell you what, we've cleared it again, but it's just living dangerously. It's 82nd minute. 82 minutes 34 seconds, if you're wondering.
I'm going to just say this now, right? I've got a feeling that you're going to have a set piece in the last minute of the game. I've just got a weird feeling.
Robbery.
I've got a feeling that Big Dan Burn is going to end up getting a header in the last minute of this game.
If we get anything from this game, like if we get a win, that would be mental.
It would be.
That would be.
It would
mental.
be a joke. It would be a joke. Completely unfair on Milan. Completely unfair. We've had a lot of love for the kickoff today. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
for
we're
watching
loving
so far.
Cheers, mate. And then that is horrendous from Newcastle. What the fucking hell on earth was that?
You're making it difficult for yourselves, aren't you? Right, big trips. You want a big throw here. Get it up the pitch. Get it away from the defenders.
We remember when Leicester went into the Champions League?
Yes.
it didn't help them, did it? Like their confidence was
But
just.
you were saying before the season started, you were saying it doesn't matter. You're going to be right up there. It doesn't matter
I
about the
wasn't
Champions
saying
League.
that at all.
Yeah, you
I
were.
wasn't.
You were saying you were
I've
going
got
to be
it on
fourth.
video, man. You can't do this.
You were saying you were going to be fourth.
I didn't say that.
What did you say? Fifth?
I
That's
said
still Champions
top
League.
6. I said 6.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Right. He's changing.
It's definitely not changing.
He's changing his mind.
The worry. Here's my real worry, right? If we continue to get dominated like this, my worry is. Oh, a little bit of controversy here. If we, if mentally we get used to being the whipping boys in games, it's just not good for you. Leicester did get to the quarters. Good point.
You've not been the whipping boys at hardly any games. You haven't. Man City, you had them like neck and neck pretty much. I mean, 1 goal against City it's not bad. What is the XG? That's a freaking great question.
Let's go to the XG.
Let's go.
You ready?
The XG stat is here. Brought to you by Expected Goals.
Okay, come on then.
Pulling it up. Newcastle, you'll be pleased to know, have added 0.06 to their XG target from half time. You're now on 0.18.
And what are they on?
2.08 currently.
Well, that's unusual, isn't it?
And also, it's about 5 minutes behind on this app. So, yeah, not the best. Not the best.
We're so shit, man.
Not the best.
Someone said this is showing our level. We really are a few years away. Last season was a massive fluke, and we knew it. It is. It's just difficult right now. I've got to say. But
oh, here we go. Great claim by Nick Pope. Unbelievable goalkeeper. Why are you replacing him? Why are you replacing him?
I know I've whinged, right? There's probably most of this, right? But what I will say is a point is good, right?
A point is great.
I'm not saying bring back Mike Ashley or anything like that. You know what I mean? A point is good.
But you know, it would be quite good to have.
It's a point in the Champions League.
The banter. Yeah.
Callum Wilson, lovely football. Terrible football there from the midfield again. Who was that? Was that Bruno Guimaraes? Fuck me, man. That cunt is looking like a fucking. He needs a reality check here because his passing's been fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's why he's running around now, doing a bit of hustle, showing that he can make up for it. Right, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Dan Burn. And it's going to be a goal.
Oh, Leao, what has he done?
Mate, we're fighting.
Can I just say, right?
Yeah.
I was so excited about Leao, and I really wanted him at Chelsea. I've watched him tonight. He could stay in Milan. He can stay there.
I mean, at least he's creating chances.
He can't finish his dinner.
Yeah, you fit right in.
Yeah, well, fucking hell, yeah.
Come on, then. Wake the fuck up, you bastards. We're supposed to be winning.
Pelters tonight.
Come on. Just a lack of urgency here. Come on,
Bring
man.
on Lewis Hall, for fuck's sake.
Mate, the fact that Lewis Hall can't get into this side. The shit.
Elliot Anderson with a
Elliot
very
Anderson,
aggressive
bang
through
average. Bang fucking average.
A very aggressive
average.
one. What is our prediction for Dortmund PSG? I reckon PSG win it 3-0. I think that's a big win. You?
Mate, we are so lucky to be 0-0. I really can't.
You're going to celebrate this 0-0 like a win.
Our passing has been horrendous here. I mean, look.
Oh my God, it's bad.
We look like a championship side with the way we pass the ball.
Is that Anderson there, number 32?
Yeah. It's mad. I think they called him the Geordie Maradona at Bristol.
Oh!
Go on. Come on,
attack!
Come on.
Right, the clock is on, boys. This is your chance.
Come on. Yes.
It's 5-on-3. Oh, he's slowing it down. He's slowing it right down.
It's shite. I just want to say that. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. I just can't hold it.
Does he deserve that, guys?
I just can't handle it. I just can't hold it in anymore.
Oh, it's opened
I've been
up,
thinking
boys.
it the whole game.
Giroud is so good. He's so good.
Throw it. Come on, let's get attacking.
This is a basketball match now.
Yes.
Come on, boys.
Come on. Hurry up, man.
We're jogging.
You fucking
We're jogging.
bricks.
Do
you want to win this football match?
Right, it's got tasty, boys. I'm not going to lie.
Be asked to move.
It's got tasty.
The fitness levels are fucked.
It's got tasty. Look at this. This is bad. You're playing for the draw, obviously, aren't you? Come on, boys. Would I take Giroud at Chelsea?
Are you seeing the fucking state of these shite passes? You fucking useless pricks. I cannot watch us pass the ball like this again.
Eddie's doing his
Atrocious.
nuts. He's doing his nuts. And Tyndall's shouting from the sideline as well.
We really do bottle it in big games, Newcastle.
Walking football, someone said, and that is exactly what it was. You're gassed. You're gassed.
We've been gassed from the kickoff.
Oh God, that's a foul.
The referee's the pussy, so you'll give anything.
Dear. Yeah. I'd take Drogba back at 46. I'd take Drogba back in a fucking heartbeat. I'll tell you that for sure. He could do it. Do you know what, mate? We played a Legends game recently where we had the Chelsea Legends versus Bayern Munich
I've seen
Legends.
that, yeah.
And do you know what? Most of them were better than our players now. Like, not even joking. Like, John Terry looked like he still could be playing the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, he's only like 2 years older than Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Oh, imagine them two together.
Oh, no, we're in trouble. Pulisic, good tackle. Well done, Bruno Gimmerish. Honestly, that's what I'm talking about, son. Well done. Yeah, I'll take that from Bruno. That was a brilliant last-ditch tackle from him. I was frustrated with him earlier, but all is forgiven.
There's some banter going on here. Bring Andy Carroll back.
Do you know what?
enjoyed that,
With how
mate.
bad our passing is, we might as well go for a target man.
just
at this
lump
rate,
it.
'cause
Who's-
fucking hell.
What? Barnes is coming on. I'm surprised he hasn't been on the pitch.
Yeah, got to take your sack off.
Do you know what?
He's fucking legless.
He's going to make a massive difference in 3 seconds left in the game.
I wonder how long the extra time is in the Champions League.
I'm going to say 8 minutes. What do you reckon?
I mean, there's been no goals, so I don't know where you can pick the...
They've had about 17 injuries. Give Chris a goal. Guys in the chat, you've been on fire tonight. I have to say, there have been some fucking great
They're
shouts.
fucking horrible, aren't they? But I love you lot. Like family I wish I'd never had. You fucking pricks. They're saying Howe's out of his depth now. Stop it. We can't blame Eddie Howe for the fact that this lot can't pass the ball.
Oh, God.
We're bringing on John Bonds.
Henri regen there as well.
It's 5 minutes extra time.
Oh,
and by the way,
God, the corner's here.
we've got about 4 minutes of that left almost.
Yeah.
It's 49 seconds
Yeah.
gone. Cross in. Nice.
Unbelievable.
Yes,
cross
get
by
rid of it.
Pulisic.
Get rid of it.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Callum
Look at Wilson going.
Yeah, he's fast. Isn't
He is fast. I didn't realise he was that quick. Does anyone want to win this game?
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Well over the bar.
Another shot.
Right,
Bites
now-
the dust.
Now, slow it down. Game management, we call it.
Yeah, we love a bit of game management in Newcastle. Apparently, fucking
Ask Arsenal fans.
the Brentford manager was fucking whinging about it the other day.
Classic.
It's like, well, and it's funny because everyone honed in on the penalty we got. And it's like, yeah, we got a penalty that was debatable. We also had another penalty that should have been given by the rules that wasn't given. We then had a goal disallowed for a push on the keeper that never happened. So,
Right, here we go, boys. This is your moment. This is it.
We got
This
a
is your
free
set
kick in
piece.
their half. I can't wait to hear what Eddie Howe's got to say about this.
Oh, no.
Tyndall's on the touchline, mad dog going mental. This is our house.
Oh, Joey's in the chat.
Hey,
Joey.
big love. All right, bro. The
He
boys.
said it's a good result, mate. He's saying it's a good result.
Yeah, that's what he's been telling himself since Sunday. I love it.
I mean, Bournemouth and Milan are pretty similar standards.
The result is without doubt a good result. A draw. I feel like if it had been, do you know, like if it was a 2-2 and we'd scored the last goal, it would feel different. But because we've been absolutely dominated in this game, it doesn't feel great. Kieran Trippier gets in there, captain.
What a
And keeps
tackle!
it in.
What a
You are my
challenge.
captain.
To anyone
My
saying
captain.
that he hasn't
That
been
is
good,
a Champions League footballer right there.
get him in the England team.
Bruno. What the fuck was that from Bruno Gimmerish? Fucking state of that shit.
Jesus Christ.
Christ almighty, you think you're a fucking top player? Honestly, I was singing these praises after that last tackle before, but that was shite.
Is that a corner? Oh, God, don't dive
See
on
that
the
pass
ball
from
like
Bruno?
that, boys.
Fucking hell.
Don't dive on the
Most
ball
of this fucking stream is just me fucking whinging about these terrible passes.
Oh, look at that tackle, Trips.
And then he gets back up, breakdances
Chopped
almost.
it. Yeah.
Fuck me, Nick Pope.
Look at that. Look at that big long ball.
We'll take
This
it.
is English football at its finest.
Yes. Mike Bassett, England manager. Innit?
Oh, what a film. I love that. I'm going to have to rewatch
I've been telling Adam to watch it.
Has he not watched
He's never
it?
seen it. No.
Oh, I'm going to have to rewatch it. It's a classic. Benson and Hedges.
Bro, it's sadly still applicable, so much of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Bruno G he's hit and miss at this level so far. Get in there, Pern. Lovely.
Turn, pass.
Get out your feet.
Pass.
Bonds. God, the state of it. There's so many players been exposed in this game for just not being at this level.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Come on.
Longstaff.
Attack. Trippier's going for it, mate. Trippier's
Come on,
going.
we've got fucking 30 seconds
He's
left
going.
in the game, lads. Come on.
Don't
Almiron.
the worst person you want on the ball right now.
Bonds.
Nice, that's it.
Inside.
Hampton.
Outside.
Oh!
First shot.
That was it.
First shot on target.
Is it a corner?
95th minute.
I don't think that was on target. Was it?
I thought the keeper said that he did.
He did. All right.
Mate,
fair enough.
imagine Longstaff scores in the 95th minute in Milan.
I know.
I'll fucking streak.
The limbs would be
I'll be naked.
ridiculous. They-
I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I'm
Close
glad,
your eyes,
I'm
guys.
Glad,
Get ready.
I'm glad it didn't go in.
The brand deals will be flooding in. Love honey.
The OnlyFans deal
Yes.
will be coming in. Oh, dear. Exclusive content. If you want it, guys, let us know.
We'll do most things for money. Get the corner. Is there a corner? Oh,
It
that's,
must
that's
be.
a corner, right?
It must be. Are we going to time waste in the corner?
If we scored from this corner,
Get Nick. What
it
did
would
I
be
say?
the biggest robbery of robberies because the fans are already leaving.
What did I say? What did I say?
Imagine you just see Nick Pope just running up and fight.
If Dunburn gets his header in, I'm putting some money on the lottery tonight.
Unbelievable. We have to try and score from here. Come on, lads.
Brian,
Do you know if
Brian
Longstaff didn't shoot there though?
I know.
He had the ball on the right side to play it in. Come on, Trippier.
Here we go.
Corner ball.
Good ball trips. Beat the first man, please. Get it, Big Dan. Big Dan's free. He's free. Oh, it's
Another
another.
corner.
That's it. What? What's going on here?
Oh, they're talking about pushes. That wasn't that.
What
That's
for?
that's another
That's
corner.
a corner. Just
Another
get on
corner.
with it. What are they complaining about? Oh, get on with it, boys. Get on with it. Oh, and that's it.
Full
Excellent.
time.
What a way
It's
to
a fucking-
end it.
It's a
That's
corner.
it. That's it. That's it.
This corruption at this level. It's a disgrace.
The refs are a joke.
Fucking disgrace.
They're a joke.
All right, that's full time. 0-0. Good result in terms of a point in the group is really good for us. Away from home, which is key because I think everybody, and we got Joey in the chat who's been on the kickoff telling me at St. James's Park is where Newcastle will pick up the points if we do so in the Champions League. I agree with him. So the point for Newcastle has got to be pick up the point away from home and win at home. That's got to be the goal in every game, I think. So overall, the end result I'm happy with. The performance, it was worrying at times. We were passed off the park for the majority of the first half. It could have been 3 or 4-0 in the first half, in fact. It was almost embarrassing. So we did well to calm it down in the second half and show a bit more like we belong there. But for me, midfield-wise, we were outclassed today. So that was my worry.
Overall, in the course of the game, the amount of shots and chances they had, that feels like a win. I'm sorry, it does. They should have won that game.
I didn't even remember our strikers even getting a chance, really. You know, like the shots that we did have were just fluky that, you know, felt to someone we have a dig. We only had one shot on target in the whole game.
I don't think you played to park the bus, though. Like, you played attacking. You tried to attack. You just didn't get anywhere near the goal.
We couldn't
that
string
simple.
two passes together. So it wasn't a deliberate, let's park the bus. It was actually, we're just poor compared to Milan. And we were found out in a lot of the time, you know, that our midfield was so poor at passing the ball accurately and too slow with the ball. And in terms of, you know, at this level, it's not just about the midfield creating chances, it's the fullbacks overlapping. We didn't bring them into the game enough, obviously. Kieran Trippier was pinned back. Dan Burn, even if he wants to go forward, struggles with that. So, and 0-0 is best case scenario. But it's definitely a wake-up call. Like, all right, the likelihood is we're probably not going to... I mean, if we get Europa League even, that would be a blessing for me, because I just don't think we're cut out for this level. The fact is, Milan were just pumped 5-1 by Inter in the last... And they're viewed as someone who are, you know, a team that we would hope to beat, because PSG are going to be favourites. So to be so dominated was a wake-up call, I'll be honest.
But look, like I said, if you get 3 draws away from home, you could top the group. I mean, like, you've just got to win your home games. It's not an easy place to go, St James's Park. So all of these boys are going to have to come there and turn up. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, that lot are going to be. It's going to be Braveheart in the stands in Newcastle. We're going to be screaming, ready for war in Newcastle, and that's going to be key for us. So, yeah, I'll take the point. But the more worrying thing is not just about the Champions League. It's about Newcastle this season. Our passing has been shite this season. Our chance creation has been shite this season. And this ain't about the Champions League. This was the same against Brentford. It was the same in multiple games this season. And that needs to change, because we've spent a fair bit of money, and yet we've got most of the players we've bought on the bench. So, yeah, food for thought. But let me know what you thought in the comments, guys. Really appreciate all of you lot keeping us going throughout the stream, especially all of the super chats. Big love to everyone, especially Nathan. I think he put in half of his wages. So cheers, shout out to you, bro. And big love to everyone who's been supporting the kickoff lately. We've been killing it on the show. There's more clips from the kickoff coming out this week. We got chat about Sancho. We got chat about Chelsea. We got chat about Harry Maguire and even Paul Pogba failing a drugs test. So they'll be out on the kickoff this week. And then this weekend, it's the North London derby, and we've got Craig Mitch representing Spurs and Manel back from Top Baller representing Arsenal. And I already know those two are going to be losing their minds, because it's very rare that Craig is like got hope.
He has a lot of hope this time. He's going to be well up for it. It's going to be a big, big show. Like, seeing those two go for it, yeah. He's going to be more nervous than anything.
Big time. I've never seen him like this before. So we're buzzing for it. We're going to wrap the stream up there, but big love to all of you lot, and we'll see you this Sunday for the North London Derby on the kickoff. See you, lads. Cheers.